All around the world, fashion enthusiasts, stylists, and buyers are looking for the next big trend. Nowhere is that more evident than in the vintage and consignment community. Over the past few years, we have seen huge fashion trends in accessories, big handbags, oversized sunglasses, funky belts and wedge shoes, to apparel, everything from leggings to leopard print to the little black dress, and most importantly, hair and makeup, the return of the bob and the pixie cut. SVELTE TV decided to take a deeper look at how old fashion becomes new. We'll visit 3 stores that carry and specialize vintage and consignment clothing, starting with Current Boutique. We are here with Carmen Lopez, owner of Current Boutique. Tell us a little bit about your store and how you got started.
Well, here at Current Boutique, we have a mix of new and consignment clothing. It's consignment, but everything is no more than 2 years old.
So what is the difference between consignment and vintage?
Consignment, at least here at Current Boutique, is no more than 2 years old.
Okay.
Vintage clothing is actually from the 1920s to the 1960s, true vintage. And I actually have some purses here I can kind of
great.
show you.
Yeah.
And just because it's an old piece doesn't mean that it's a desirable vintage piece.
Right.
If you take a look at this bag, all the beading is in place.
That's gorgeous.
So this would be considered a desirable vintage piece because it's in absolutely perfect condition. This is a laundry dress. We get a lot of great pieces and dresses that have been worn maybe once or twice.
Yeah.
And then kind of brought in here so somebody else can appreciate them.
That's gorgeous.
This one's a Betsy Johnson. You can see the flowers are coming back in.
And the color.
Exactly, the green. This one is one of my favorites. It's a BCBG one, and you can see the spots and how the spray paint look is. And this is almost like a portrait painting type dress.
We're here with Anna. She's a stylist here at Current Boutique, and she's gonna talk us through how to take an everyday woman and fit her in consignment pieces and some vintage pieces, and just kind of how it works in the everyday world and how you can mix and match.
Heather's here today for just some casual mix and match pieces, and we're gonna put her in a few dresses and different colors. You know, one of the trends for spring is bright splashes of color, and that is something that you can do really well in a consignment shop.
Next stop, Mercedes-Benz. This vintage store is located at the heart of Washington and is one of the great hidden treasures in the city.
My love of vintage clothing is because it's so well made and it's so precious, and I feel it has soul. Going around with my mom when we were young, and we'd go to like thrift stores and church sales, and she would educate me about well-made clothing, and so I guess I gravitated toward it. I choose my clothing by the pizzazz factor first. There's 3 things. There's that, then the second thing that is most important is fit. And then the third thing is condition. That is really important to me. I wish you could just feel it because it's amazing silk French brocade.
Mercedes clients, including Lauren O'Neill, are huge fans and recently discovered vintage in DC.
Well, I have a really good friend at work, and I was by her office a few weeks ago, probably about a month and a half, and lamenting the fact that I didn't know the great vintage stores in the area, and that I didn't think there were any. And she said, "Oh no, let me correct you." And she told me about this one, and I'm literally 3 blocks from here, and so this store has become a very dangerous place for me.
Our third and final stop is Meeps, also located in Adams Morgan. Meeps is home to some of the most fun and interesting vintage pieces. We caught up with Leanne Throwbridge, owner of Meeps, to talk a little bit more about how her store is different from the rest.
There aren't too many other vintage stores that focus as equally on men's clothes as women's. I think we always have men telling us they really appreciate the store. We also sell local designer pieces, mostly made in DC, Baltimore area. It's fun and nice. I mean, I'm interested in fashion just because I think it makes life a little more interesting.
It's been an amazing day of shopping and fun. Stay tuned to the next episode of SVELTE TV to find where we go next.